find his way through. So we're underway, or we're about to get underway. Marc Marquez will lead the riders in this session. A flashing red light on that factory Honda dashboard. That means that Danny Pedrosa, as you have to have, that's the pit lane speed limiter on.
So we've been waiting for, early November for this moment. Testing's over, practice is over, and now 15 minutes of pure adrenaline. Qualifying 2 here in Qatar. Dylan.
Yeah, guys, just a quick word on the tyres. Interestingly enough, you actually see Valentino Rossi, he's decided to head out with the harder option front tyre, hard option front, soft option rear. It looks like it was pretty similar for Marquez and Crutchlow. Obviously, as we mentioned, struggling a little bit with the colours, but I'm pretty sure it's Marquez, Crutchlow, Rossi. The rest of the guys have gone with the soft front, soft rear combination. So all the rear soft, and just 3 of the fronts hard. Jorge Lorenzo, he looks to have gone with the softer option front and softer option rear.
Rossi is out, and now here comes the world champion, Jorge Lorenzo. 2 MotoGP wins here, 2 250cc wins, and a 125cc victory. Already in free practice 4. A fair old argument with Valentino Rossi. Practice start time, they exchange words. Rossi not happy with Jorge Lorenzo when they were out on the track. There you go, the Losail International Circuit. 5.380 kilometres, 3.343 miles, and we are ready to rock and roll with 13 and a half minutes remaining.
Ahead of this qualifying session this evening, Michelin held a press conference here in Qatar, and race boss Nicolas Goubert was quite keen to point out that the best ever MotoGP lap here at Losail International Circuit is still held by Michelin. Jorge Lorenzo's 2008 pole position, that sensational debut pole in MotoGP for the Spaniard, 1:53.927.
If we could set that today, that would upset the apple cart, wouldn't it? Here is Hector Barbera.
Guys, just a quick word as we see Marc Marquez is on board. His mechanics actually have the number 2 bike out in pit lane, so we said might not be a 3-run, but you never know, they might be trying it after all.
So Andrea Dovizioso, ride with Marc Marquez. Right, start seeing who's going to set the benchmark. Hector Barbera, Maverick Vinales, Valentino Rossi, they're all through the 3rd sector. This is Marquez through sector 1. Coming up now towards sector 2. Switch now to Valentino Rossi. Got out there pretty early, Valentino Rossi. Never been comfortable with this new qualifying format, but really got to grips with it last year.
Yeah, there is Rossi. He's got Maverick Vinales behind him. It was roles reversed on the opening night here in Qatar when Valentino Rossi was lavishing compliments on the factory Suzuki ride. He said that there's no doubt about it, Maverick Vinales will be a race winner at some stage in 2016. Now, for Valentino Rossi to say that, you know, Maverick Vinales is doing pretty well on that factory Suzuki.
He used to say that about Marc Marquez.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. Is that Marc Marquez with Hector Barbera on his back wheel? Wouldn't be surprised if it is the Avinci Ducati man. There we go. We saw Cal Crutchlow getting a bit frustrated with Barbera latching onto his back wheel in the earlier Q1 session, or in FP4 rather. Hector Barbera doing a disservice there. He didn't need to go into Q1, of course. He was safely through in 8th place at the end of practice.
This is Marquez through turn 15, now coming up towards 16. Onto this long start finish straight here at the Losail International Circuit. What's that lap time going to be? It's going to be a benchmark for the others, but there's still just under 11 minutes remaining. Qualifying 2 here in Qatar. Marquez, a 1:56.774.
That's the first time lap. I don't think it'll be the fastest time lap in this session by any stretch of the imagination, because here comes Valentino Rossi, already close to 3.5 tenths up through that 3rd sector. Here comes Rossi through turn number 15. This is where he was so strong in the raid clash here to hold up Andrea Dovizioso and Andrea Iannone in what was a fantastic start to the 2015 World Championship campaign on an all-Italian podium. And here comes Jorge Lorenzo. Lorenzo's an absolute flyer, 1.5 seconds up through the first 3 splits. Rossi will be over the line first.
Rossi goes top, 1:56.024, but I don't think that's going to last for long.
Yeah, Lorenzo in that third sector, up by almost a second and a half. Vignales behind Rossi, does take second place. Here is Lorenzo, the reigning world champion. 1:54.543 from Lorenzo on his first flying lap. So much for these Michelin tyres needing a bit of work to get up to temperature.
Fastest lap of the weekend so far from Jorge Lorenzo. The pole last year, a 1:54.113 from Andrea Dovizioso. Lorenzo means business. He means big business. What can Marc Marquez do? Behind him, Hector Barbera, 9.5 minutes to go.
1:54.5. That's only about 0.6 of a second slower than Lorenzo's circuit best ever lap. That could come under threat. Definitely could come under threat because Jorge Lorenzo, he'll have more in his pocket with 9 minutes of this session remaining. 8 years rather, that lap record has stood for Jorge Lorenzo. Here's Marc Marquez looking to move himself up onto the front row of the grid. 4th place at the moment for the double world champion, and Marquez does go second. He's the second rider into the 1:54s, and behind him Hector Barbera has moved on to the provisional front row with a 1:55.297. Now that would be a shock.
Another really good lap coming up from the world champion Jorge Lorenzo. Third sector time any minute now is into turn 12 up towards 13. Will it be another red? You would not be surprised if that is the case. Oh, 1,000th of a second quicker. 1:54.453 we are looking for.
What we saw from Bradley Smith in Q1, he was able to up his pace with more laps from car. He did his best lap in Q1 on his 5th lap. So normally we see the tyres perhaps run out of good grip with Bridgestones after 1 or 2 hot laps. Not the case from the likes of Bradley Smith in Q1, and we know what Jorge Lorenzo's like in terms of upping his pace. A 1:54.5, so just a fraction outside of that best lap of the session so far. There's Andrea Dovizioso just slotting himself onto the back of the second row in 6th place. Hector Barbera, who was on the front row in 3rd about 30 seconds ago, well, he's now been pushed back down to row 3 in 7th.
Halfway through the vital qualifying 2 session here at the opening round of the championship in Qatar. This is Marc Marquez. Hector Barbera has been on his tail since the very start. This is a really good lap though from Marquez. Through 15, we ride with him on the Honda, under the bridge, on the brakes, into turn 16. Could he take over at the front? We're looking at a 1:54.543 to beat.
Yeah, the interesting situation about this with Marc Marquez, this is his 4th lap on this tyre. Now, will it put him on top of the time sheet? It doesn't. It's Marc very, very close. 1:54.634. And taking advantage of the tow behind the double world champion was Hector Barbera, who's back now onto that second row of the grid in 5th place.
Anybody showing any sign of coming in, Dylan?
No, not at all. We still have Marquez's bike out. The only interesting thing is with Jorge Lorenzo's side, they've brought out a new rear tyre and a new front. So if they were to change, it looks like they might pop in the front, but that obviously takes a little bit longer. Beforehand with the Bridgestones, of course, they only used to change the rear. But as I say that now, of course, we've got quite a few coming in.
Here they come, leading the charge, Iannone, Redding, Paul Espargaro and Cal Crutchlow. We have 6 minutes, 20 seconds remaining.
It was Marc Marquez who stayed out the longest. He did 1 lap longer on that first tyre than any of the other riders. Second place for the Repsol Honda rider. Here comes Valentino Rossi and Maverick Viñales. Whereas Rossi down in 9th place at the moment, 1 place further back than he qualified last year before he went on to win the race.
Bradley Smith is staying out there as he did in qualifying 1. This is a much better lap from Bradley Smith. Where this is going to lift him up to, we are about to find out. 10th place for Bradley Smith.
Just behind the factory Yamaha of Valentino Rossi. Jorge Lorenzo just coming into shot there very quickly by Valentino Rossi. So Lorenzo back in. New soft rear tyre going in Valentino Rossi's factory Yamaha now. It's going to be a pretty dramatic final 5 minutes because the pole man from last year as well, Andrea Dovizioso, is out on track. And Dovizioso and Bradley Smith have had quick first sectors.
And so interesting, guys, with Lorenzo, they are changing his front tyre. Obviously, he had gone out on the softer option front. Rossi had gone out on the harder option front. They are leaving his in, so he's going out with brand new soft rear and a used hard front. And if you remember last year, he often used to do one lap just to scrub in the Bridgestone front tyre. So you wonder whether that's a similar kind of strategy, whereas Lorenzo preferring completely fresh rubber all around.
Here they come, Andrea Iannoni's out there.
Bradley Smith still pushing through on a decent lap. He just climbed up inside the top 10 with a 1:55.593. He's on personal best lap through the second sector. Andrea Dovizioso's lap time's gone away, unfortunately, for the Italian. The pole man from last year down in 7th place.
Maverick Vinales currently running in 6th place. It would be a second row start for the 21-year-old Suzuki star. And here is Valentino Rossi. Time is running out, just over 4 minutes remaining. Bradley Smith's lap just tailing off a little bit now through the third sector.
Yeah, this is it. The time attack now in full swing. Jorge Lorenzo through turn number 2 with those striking winglets on that factory Yamaha. Lorenzo does seem to favour them. Valentino Rossi said last night he can't feel any difference in terms of performance, and he said he doesn't like them ugly on the bike, is what Valentino Rossi said.
Guys, just a quick word to round things out with the tyres. Marc Marquez, so he's gone for the third option, which is brand new hard front, brand new soft rear.
3.5 minutes to go. Bradley Smith has moved up to 9th place, so he's just picked up 1 place in front of Valentino Rossi. Well, everything's going to be decided in the next 3.5 minutes. Lorenzo, as we stand at the moment, in pole position, right behind him, Marquez, and a little bit further back, Iannoni, Pedrosa, Barbara, Vinales, Dovizioso, Crutchlow, Smith, Rossi, Redding, and Pole Espargaro.
Yeah, Valentino Rossi's going to have to pull his finger out in the final 3 minutes of this session. Down in 10th place at the moment, almost a second behind Jorge Lorenzo. Here's Andrea Dovizioso on a quick lap, trying to get himself onto the front row of the grid. Third pole position of his MotoGP career here 1 year ago for Dovizioso. He pushed Rossi all the way to the checkered flag for what would have been a dream debut win for the new GP15.
Third sector time coming up any moment now as it comes through turn 13. Well, it would just be off that front row of the grid if it remains the same. Estimated position 5th. But we're peering at the timing screen the whole time. Nobody, as you would expect, because they're still out on their out laps. It's going to be this. It's going to have to be this next lap that probably will decide who is where.
Well, Rossi's over the line, so Rossi will get at least 2. Well, he'll get 2 flying laps to try and rescue this qualifying session from 10th place. Dovizioso, a 1:54.963. Good final sector from the Italian. So Dovizioso up to 4th place, just behind his teammate Andrea Iannoni.
This is Danny Pedrosa. Maverick Vinales going around the outside of him. Here comes Valentino Rossi.
Danny Pedrosa got to be careful there. He was cruising there, doesn't want to let too much temperature drop out of those tyres. Here comes Lorenzo. He's over the line then, so Lorenzo will probably only get maybe one lap slap in. He's still in pole position with that 1:54.543.
1 minute 30 seconds to go. Qualifying 2 here in Qatar. Valentino Rossi, number 46. New contract with Yamaha, 2017 and 2018. Race winner here last year.
This is new territory for all these rides. The first time they've really been asked to put in a banzai fast lap on the Michelin tyres, and Marc Marquez, well, he's more than capable of putting in a banzai hot lap, and Marquez at the moment has gone through the first sector up by just 0.7 of a second, very, very close.
You've got to say though, Bertie, with a minute to go, not a great deal is happening apart from Marquez, is it?
Not at all. Valentino Rossi's had a good third sector, but he's only going to pick up 1 place and bump him up onto the third row of the grid. Rossi will get over the line for 1 last lap, and it'll be make or break for Rossi. He won't want to be finding himself marooned down on that third row of the grid.
Handout from Scott Redding. Here comes Valentino Rossi into turn 16. Look at the watch, 30 seconds to go. Rossi will get over the line. Rossi should rise up from 10th place, at least 1 place when he crosses the line this time around. Rossi up to 7th.
Now or never then for Valentino Rossi in terms of pole position and the front row of the grid. On board with Marc Marquez.
Yeah, decent lap from Marc Marquez at the moment. into turn 16 for the race winner here 2 years ago.
He won't be on pole though, Nick, because the checkered flag is going to be out by the time Marc Marquez comes to the finish line. So this is the end of Marc Marquez's qualifying challenge. There is the checkered flag, and Marc Marquez, unless he's had a storming final sector, he hasn't. So Marquez fails in his bid to take pole position. Lorenzo still in the box seat with that 1:54.543. Red helmets from Viñales, from Andrea Iannone, and from Valentino Rossi. Viñales and Iannone up by over a tenth of a second.
Have a look at Jorge Lorenzo. He is in the man in pole. Big moment there for Jorge Lorenzo. Big shake of the front end of the Yamaha. He holds the bike upright.
It's a shootout now between Rossi, Viñales and Andrea Iannone for pole position. Jorge Lorenzo sweating now on the pole, on board with Maverick Viñales. He's 5 thousandths up through that second split. He's got Rossi right behind him on track.
Well, Lorenzo could find himself starting from the second row of the grid if these times continue. Third sector times to come up any moment now. Here is Valentino Rossi. Maverick Viñales just off a little bit, but it's very, very tight indeed. Viñales has played in third, Valentino Rossi third, and Iannone in second place. Lorenzo may just be safe.
Oh, as you know, he just lost a bit of crucial time. He caught Scott running just at the worst possible moment. Viñales and now cranks the Suzuki over in turn number 16. Viñales now powers that GSX-RR down the straight. Valentino Rossi close behind. Are they both about to move onto the front row of the grid?
Here we go. Viñales in third place. Valentino Rossi in fourth place. Valentino Rossi knocked back to fifth by Andrea Iannone. Lorenzo in pole position as he defends his title for the first race.
And that was after a big mistake by Lorenzo on his final flying lap. Rossi has a good look at the big screens. He'll see himself in fifth place. Not a bad session for Valentino Rossi, but Maverick Viñales, what a lap by the factory Suzuki rider. Shake of the head from Marc Marquez. He's pretty frustrated with that 1:54.634. The front three, Yamaha, Honda, Suzuki on the front row of the grid, and they're split by less than a tenth of a second. Andrea Iannone, he lost a tenth and a half in that final section, just caught Scott Redding at the wrong moment on the track. Scott Redding finished that session in 12, but when all said and done, Jorge Lorenzo on his second lap of that session has taken the first pole position of the new Michelin era.